Now that you understand the concepts of the power tools, we can take those concepts and move them into a workflow in Metastock. We'll begin our workflow in the Explorer. We'll take a list of instruments against a strategy and determine which of those instruments is generating a buy or sell signal today based off of that criteria. Once we have a list of generated instruments, we can take that, move it into the system tester, test our strategy over time to determine how well those systems have performed against our instruments. And once we have the most profitable instruments, we can open our charts, apply the expert advisor, follow the commentary, and follow the trade through. With that, let's go ahead and go into Metastock. To begin this workflow, we'll need to start with the Power Console open. If the Power Console is not already open, you can open it by going to the top left-hand corner of your screen and clicking on the P for Power Console. We're going to begin this workflow with the Explorer. We'll click on the Explorer tab in the Power Console. Once you've opened the Explorer, you can see a list of all the different scans that are built into Metastock. Each of these scans give you different results based off of the criteria that you choose. For our workflow, we're going to choose the MACD buy signal. So what we're going to do is look for stocks that are giving a MACD buy opportunity today based off of the MACD criteria. We'll highlight that, select Next. For our purposes here, let's choose the S&P 500 stock list. We highlight it, and then make sure the Select All button is chosen to select all the securities. We'll select Next, and then we simply need to start the exploration. As the Explorer goes through and identifies its trading opportunities, it's looking at each stock individually to determine whether or not there is a buy signal on the MACD today. So as you can see, as it goes through the list, it will filter. Right now it's filtering about 96. That can change based off of market conditions and what's happening. Now that the scan is completed, we can choose Reports. And then the Explorer will give us a list of stocks that are meeting that MACD buy signal criteria. So here we probably have about 10 to 15 securities that are meeting our criteria. I can rank on any of these columns. So if I choose Close, I can double click and rank based off of the closing price, the MACD value, the percent above MACD value, or whatever the criteria that I choose here. Now when I have 10 to 15 securities based off of a scan, it may be tough to know which of these may be the best one to trade. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close the exploration report, and I'm going to go to one of the other power tools in Metastock called the System Tester. And as a review, what the System Tester does is it allows us to take a criteria, test over time to see how well the securities that you want to trade have performed. If one has performed well, it may be better to trade that one versus something that has performed poorly over time. So since we looked for a MACD buy signal, we want to test the MACD to understand if it's worked well on the MACD. So we're going to look for the MACD system. We'll highlight that, select Next, and then we just need to look at the list of stocks that are giving us a buy signal, not the entire S&P 500. So we're going to go to Results of the Last Exploration, and these are all the stocks that met that criteria, that gave a buy signal. So let's select Next. For the purpose of this workflow, we're just going to use the default values in the system testing options. Select Start System Test. And now what the system tester is going to do is it's going to go through and take every trade on those stocks over time to determine how well the MACD has performed. So we'll choose View Results. And this is the System Tester Test View. We'll open this up and maximize it. And then each of these columns gives us a different bit of information. I'm just going to expand them out just a little bit so we can see them a little more clearly. And let's just look at what each of these columns is telling us. One, this is just an identifier of which security it is, so Abbott Labs equals 1. Here's the symbol that we tested, what periodicity we tested. So I looked at a daily stock. Here's the date range. So we basically looked over the last year from 8/5/2011 to 8/1/2012, how well this stock has performed. Our net profit over that period of time was $319. Percent gain was 3.2%. Over that year period, we took a total of 14 trades. 5 were winners, 9 were losers. So we're ranking based off of trade profit loss here. Okay, and then this one is my average profit, average loss, and if the system test completed. So this gives us some good information to start with. So if I look at this, I know I can rank off any of these columns first off. So if I double click on percent gain, it will tell me which one was the top percent gain ranked. So on Kimco Reality, we had a total of 17 trades, 12 were winners, and 5 were losers. So over that time, it performed fairly well. If we look down at the one we were looking at previously, Abbott Labs, which is number 1, if we look at number 1, it was still profitable, but we had more losing trades than we did winning trades. That tells me that my winners were bigger than my losers. Okay, so let's go ahead and just click into Kimco Realty here. I'll just double click on it. And what the system tester will do will give you a detailed report of what you went through as you did your system test. So this is my profit, my performance, annualized performance. This is how much I would have made if I just bought and held this stock over the same period. How many total trades, and it will just go through and break it down. So I recommend going through the system tester results just to get a clearer view. This tab will give us an overview of all the orders, all the positions, the equity line on how that performed, and we'll get more into the equity line in our other workflows, and then an overview of how the system works. Okay, so let's go ahead and close this. And now I know that Kimco was my top performing stock out of that list that gave me a buy signal. So what I can do is if I come to the Charts tab after closing the system tester, again selecting results of the last exploration, and I'm going to deselect select all, and I'd just like to find Kimco. So let's find Kimco, go to next, go to open chart, and now I have Kimco open. So what I'd like to do is view a few things. One, I'd like to put on the MACD indicator. So I'm going to select the MACD, and I just point at it, click, and I have two options. I can plot it on the chart or in its own window. Typically the MACD goes in its own window, so what I'm going to do is just point it up at the top title bar here, let go, and it will create a new window for my MACD buy signal. Okay, so now I have the MACD indicator in my window, and I'm just going to select a vertical line here on the left and bring this over. So you can see here to get buy and sell opportunities on the MACD, you just look for a signal line crossing. So for example here, the signal line crosses above and gives us a buy opportunity. Again here, we have a crossing of the lines to trigger us a buy opportunity. So let's actually go to the next step here. Now let's say that you don't know how to interpret the MACD indicator or another indicator. There's a great feature in Metastock called the Expert Advisor. And that's this icon up here at the top, gentleman with the top hat. We click on him, open it up, and this is our Expert Advisor. In the Expert Advisor, there's a number of different experts that you can choose from. We're going to look for the MACD, since we've scanned the market for a MACD buy opportunity, tested that, and now we want to see the buy and sell signals. So we'll simply choose Attach, close, and that will put our MACD buy and sell signals on the chart. So if I grab my vertical line and bring it back, you'll see that the buy and sell opportunities match the crossing of the lines based off of that criteria. If we'd like to know more about the MACD and how it works, we can now right click, go to the Expert Advisor, go to Commentary. Now what the commentary window will do is it will give us an in-depth description of what's happening with the MACD indicator first of all, but how it specifically applies to this chart. So if I scroll down, I can see the close value, the change, the MACD value, and the signal line value. And then it tells me how the MACD can provide buy and sell opportunities. There's 3 different ways it can provide the buy and sell opportunities as it describes here. Crossovers, overbought and oversold conditions, and also divergences. So if I look at the commentary, it's telling me that the only signal right now is based off of the MACD crossover, which I can see coming back here. So it will walk me through the trade as it progresses and let me know what's happening. So if I were to go back to a past example, just to give you an example here and click on this one, it again walked me through that trade from that date and what to do, and then I can move forward through and it will tell me what's happening each day as I go through the commentary window. So let's go to the last bar here and view the commentary for the last day. So now to recap this workflow, what we've seen is we can scan the market to identify buy and sell opportunities on any different list that we'd like to choose and any different criteria. We can then take that list that's giving us our buy and sell signals, test those strategies to see which ones are performing the best with those stocks, and then we can open up the charts and get the buy and sell signals and the commentary based off of what's happening.